Brian Wright, Daily B183. Is winning really that important? Hey, it's Brian Wright from BrianWright732.com, and I'm talking about winning. If you're in business, is winning important? I don't think so. I think the short-term focus on winning crushes most business owners, ruins relationships, and fucks up your business. I think you need to change your focus from winning to this: existing forever. It's the long game. It's not the sprint every day. It's the marathon. I'm not saying you can now sit back and just play for long and use it as an excuse not to do. You still do what you do, but without that intensity of needing to sprint constantly because you have this obsessive need to win everything. You know, it's that thing where then you end up trying to be right all the time, so you tend to never be right. You have to run your business as if it's going to last forever. That's legacy. That's creating things of value. That's having substance. That's giving the next generation something to latch onto. That's behaving in a way that people are going to stick with you, and they're going to be your customer not for days or weeks or months, but for years, possibly decades, possibly from generation to generation. You've got to have the long term in mind. Your business shouldn't just last as long as you have the ability to put out. It's not about your output. It's about, can you see into the future, and can you come up with a strategy so that your business is going to be able to shift and change and evolve and pivot when needed so that it can last forever? Are your ideas strong enough to last forever? Will your business last beyond you? These are all the things you really have to think about. And if you think deeply and long term, it will greatly affect your short-term practices, and you're going to provide service in a way that's way more beneficial at every level. As a leader, if you're thinking long-term, you're not thinking, how many people can I burn through to get to this short-term goal? You're thinking, how many people can I develop so that I can have a team that's going to be with me forever? So you're talking about employing people for decades, not days. There are too many people that use people to achieve short-term goals. After a while, the talent pool figures out that you're a dick, and that you're a shitty boss, and that they shouldn't work for you. And no matter how much money you're throwing at them, you run out of people to pull in. So if you think long-term, people are then fighting to get into your company because they're seeing that people are rising within your company and having longevity and achieving their own personal satisfactions because it's important to you, because you've come to realize that personal satisfaction is what creates longevity. So the whole winning thing is a short-term mindset. For me, winning is a long-term thing. Winning is how many people are going to show up at my funeral to pay respects for this amazing thing I put together. For, the impact I have that's going to live beyond me. So when I'm working day to day, I'm understanding that the business is going to be successful, it's going to not be successful, it's going to ebb and flow because that's just how things are. And I'm not going to freak out because a little loss doesn't take away from my big gain. I'm going to win. It just is going to take time. And I'm going to win more than I'm going to lose. And I'm going to learn so I never really lose. And I'm going to develop a team that's going to be with me for a long time. And that's going to respect the process. And it's going to respect the business. And it's going to respect the idea. And it's going to give me the best that they can within the skills that they have so that we all keep functioning together. It sounds like this utopian idea of how to run a business, but there are a lot of people that do it. There are a lot of companies that have long-term mentalities. That's your Walmarts, that's your Costco's, that's your Apple, that's your Amazon. They're not running sprints, they're running marathons. They're changing the face of the business world every day. They don't care what the little startup guy is doing. They're watching and they're learning from them, but they're not saying, we have to crush them. They let them develop, and then eventually they buy them and absorb them and make it part of their own. But they can do that, and they're not threatened because they have longevity. They have the capital to work the long game. And they created that by always having a long game as, what it is that they're trying to do. So stop fighting to be right. Stop fighting to win every single second of your day, and start fighting to win the long battle. Don't just win, the little engagements. Win the whole fucking war. Win your life. Don't act as if, your 20s are your thing. Be able to look back from your 60s and say, yeah, my 20s were great, my 30s were great, my 40s were better, my 50s were amazing, and I still have time to go because I did it right and I took care of people and I created a foundation to work well beyond, what the government says in my working years. And if you do it really right, you've been training the next generation that they're going to be able to continue past you. So, think long. Fuck short. Short's bullshit. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So, that's the deal. Brian Wright, I'm out.